Have you ever heard of a man named Shar Aznable? Now, well, I, Quattro Bagina, am not Shar Aznable. I heard that he was a pretty good man.
So, hey!
Hello.
Hello.
No, I hear, oh, sorry.
Yes, we're doing.
I hear Chart Ashmore has a 12-pack, you know.
Yeah.
And a 10
Yeah, and I heard
Exactly.
that he won the 1-year war and drove it away now.
Yeah, he helped win the 1-year war, stole the Gundam, and then Zeon won. Life didn't get any better afterwards, but hey, at least they won. So
Yeah, now the new Gundam pilot's a chick. So we're back
oh
to
my
square
gosh,
one.
no! A woman piloting a... Oh gosh. What is it?
That is your one time of doing it. Otherwise, you're gonna get the prohibition hammer.
All right. Oh, wait. Actually, I just got reminded though. It's actually really interesting. So I still need to catch up on the new episodes of the new Gundam show, but so apparently, the gyms that show up in like the trailers and stuff. So like in this timeline, Zeon they capture the Gundam and they're reverse engineering for like new mobile suits. The gyms in G-Quux are called Gelgooks.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's why
I just find that really cool.
that's why they got the mono eye.
It's just really neat that Gelgooks are they call their gyms Gelgooks. That's just fun.
All right, so. Well, anyway, so I can't think of a segue. We're going to be talking about Avengers Forever, a sort of sequel to when we did Astro City a couple months back with that one shot, because we are having a Kurt Busiek book that is also deals with time shenanigans.
Woo!
So
I love time travel. I don't. I actually don't really like time travel that much. But hey, time
Really
travel.
a time travel story, more of a time-themed story.
I could. That's a good way of putting it.
I just call this comic book shenanigans.
What? There's a whole lot of timey-wimey stuff though.
Yeah.
This
Uh-huh.
like I was just gonna say, like, apart from the Phantom explaining, like,
Other than the IDW Shockwave reveal.
yeah, like, other than Immortus strikes everything, does everything. He is the reason for everything. It's not really about time travel. Like, there's some really great, cool sequences that happen at different points in time, but really, like, it's funny how much this kind of comes across as like an anniversary issue to some, to Marvel's history.
Yeah,
And-
this feels. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But this feels like if you're watching an Avengers show, this is like one of the finale storyline. Like the movie to basically celebrate the show's entire history.
Exactly.
It does feel. Rating Busiek's and Perez's run, this is very in line with what they're doing with the other stuff. It does feel very celebratory of the history of the Avengers.
Mm.
And hey, it's an Avengers story without Wolverine and Spider-Man being shoehorned in.
Woo?
I remember having this Marvel Adventures line comic when I was a kid, and Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Storm were major members of the roster.
Oh.
It was alongside Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, Ant-Man, and Giant Girl.
Giant Girl.
I
Alright.
always find that kind of interesting.
Okay.
So, not how much do you know the background of this, like how this story came to be? I have read the introductory of the collection.
It's a very simple story. From what I've always heard it told, it's Busiek and Pacheco, the late Carlos Pacheco. They were contracted to make a series called Avengers World in Chains. But apparently the way that it was turning out, premise wise, felt too closer to Mutant X. So the company just decided to scrap the planned thing entirely. But like Busiek and Pacheco, they're together, so they just decided, they started talking and they decided, hey, why don't we just come up with a story together that we'll put in all of our favorite elements into it and just make one big limited story.
Yeah, like just the way they were having some of the conversation I read in the introduction, like the way they picked out the roster, some of it was like makes sense. Like, hey, I want this character. Like, oh yeah, of course we're gonna have both Hanks. We're gonna have Yellow Jacket.
I did a double take when I saw that there were two Hanks. I was like, is that actually? Did they actually include Hank twice?
Yeah.
When I was reading that first, I was like, all right, I guess so.
Oh no! It's like, oh no! Like they personally do that for mental trauma, because of course they did. But I think my favorite reaction was when they talked about how Songbird got into the book. Like, so they were going to talk about like future Avengers. So for future Avengers, Tom or I suggested Janice, the son of the classic Captain Marvel, and Carlos wanted Songbird because, as he put it, she's so cute. Based.
I think I do really like her design. I think I would switch up. I think I would swap her red hair being dominant with the white being highlights. But aside from that, she has a great design.
And also, I was about to say it's also worth saying that for Songbird is a very, very personal character for Busiek, because
he did Thunderbolts, right?
Yeah, he came up with the initial idea to reveal the Thunderbolts as the masters of evil.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, what's funny is that everybody thought that because Busiek was writing the Avengers series, all right, so Songbird and Captain Marvel were not members of the Avengers before this. And since Busiek was writing Avengers at that time, everybody thought he was going to eventually introduce Songbird and Captain Marvel into the Avengers. He never did.
Damn.
Songbird, like, from what reading, she was like an Avenger for like 3 issues or something, like 10 years after this. And this version of Captain Marvel is still yet to be an Avenger.
Yeah. So another funny thing is that they had a rough outline of the story, but they didn't pre-plan it at all. They had bullet points. They just didn't have enough time. So every month they basically had to come up the story as it goes along. They had to do the Toriyama method.
Wow.
Or Stan Lee too. Like Stan Lee did a similar thing. So it's like, okay, we have to just.
Yeah.
So
Ooh,
let's just start with the story in the first issue. Really love this cover. It feels like a good homage to classic Marvel comics back in the 70s and like 60s and 70s. And like this art, I will say the art in this entire run is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the blend. It feels like I'm reading a modern take on the older style.
Like I'm pretty sure I could be wrong, but like, 'cause, at this time, Pacheco was doing. He was primarily a Marvel UK artist. That was how he got his big break. He did like the pinups and the posters for like Spanish translated issues of Marvel UK books. And like he got to be the main artist on a book. I think like the first time he did anything stateside was X Universe. And then you get to here where I'm pretty sure this was the one that kind of put his name on the map.
Yeah, I really love it. So our story begins with a prologue where we see a peaceful ape race that is I think Yondu's species, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Yondu's species having like some events, and then they get invaded by an army cosplaying as Avengers.
Man, I keep having to remind myself Yondu in the comics is just drastically different from the movies. I gotta like keep reminding myself that.
Yeah, you have to really think of your space stuff in the comics.
I think Yondu from the movies is a Kree too as well.
Is he?
I think so.
Yeah, like the fin thing is like a cybernetic.
So because I think the Centurions, I think they were a Kree. Like they were a Kree colony.
Were they? I don't know. Did I have to watch like Captain Marvel or something?
No, you don't. Like it's just Genghis. All you just need to know is that the Krees and the Skrulls like have just been at it for so long that like civilizations were built on their wars.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's the Shi'ar.
All right.
That's just a mess on its own. That's just third party. Third party lack of stability. But anyway,
Okay, looks like Centurions and MCU are just like their own thing. They really don't say anything if they're related to the Kree at all or not.
All right. So anyway, so we see the Conqueror being, I am Jean's Ricard, commander of the Galactic Avengers Battalion, blah blah blah. We are here for humanity. And then it just skips to our actual story.
Woo!
The Avengers. My bad. Go ahead.
Just to remind people who don't know who on earth is Rick Jones, like people like Changus, I'm pretty sure you don't know who.
I have no idea who this guy is.
In the comics, he was sort of like the Hulk sidekick. Where Rick
He's the
Jones
Hulk's
was a
sidekick?
dumb kid who drove into a radiation testing site, and Bruce Banner saved him by pushing him into a trench before getting gamma bombed.
Okay.
Yeah, it was his fault that the Hulk exists.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, it wasn't Bruce experimenting on himself, as most modern adaptions does. It was a dumb idiot.
It was a kid who was the wrong place at the wrong time.
And also in the Cold War, because they were testing gamma bombs to replace nukes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's all fun stuff. So we get a recap on who on earth is Rick Jones is, what's his roles on the Avengers, yada yada, as they take him to meet up with a prisoner that S.H.I.E.L.D. had up in space.
It was the blue side of the moon. It was a outpost that S.H.I.E.L.D. and Nova Corps kind of set up. I'm trying to remember because a lot of this is just kind of hazy to me, but the blue side of the moon was like just a normal civilization. It showed up a lot in like Thor and Fantastic Four issues.
Okay.
But like here where I think this was an important thing during like the 90s run. But it is worth noting that like this entire book kind of exists in a universe in and of itself.
Okay. Yeah. So what happens is the reason they're going there, they need Rick Jones have like a horrible sickness because of the events of the Kree Skrull War, a storyline we can cover at a later point.
Okay.
And they are there to meet with a prisoner of the Kree Supreme Intelligence. So
I do not know who the Supreme Intelligence is.
basically, imagine all the smart people of the entire Kree civilization cram into one organic entity as a supercomputer.
It's a big AI that runs the Kree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
AI.
Like
it's
I can't escape it.
Like the Supreme Intelligence is there to tell the Kree, why it's been lacking, why hasn't it been, like Supreme Dog.
Okay.
It's the Asian parents to the Kree. Your failures.
I see. Okay.
You haven't conquered enough planets.
Why have you not conquered the world yet, huh? All right.
Yeah. So the Avengers are there kind of confronting him. It's like, look, we have an offer. We'll give you some time off out of prison, like shorten your time, if you can help us with Rick Jones, because he has like this energy force within him and it's killing him. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah, and then the creator's like, I'll think about it.
I'll think about it. Will you help him?
Well,
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, you have no reason to trust me. But if I say no, I know bad things will happen to me. So let's say sure.
I'll think about it. And then Captain America goes, "You got 24 hours." Of course, you never give people 24 hours, okay? That means 24 hours to scheme something. They can make an escape or make a plan
Well,
to
that's
bamboozle you.
well. I mean, still at the same time, that's a whole day there to think of. Think it over. Mull over the words. Really consider. Should I? Should I screw them over? Should I not? We'll see.
So anyway, so then when they got gone, a cloak man shows up and he's like being all mysterious about important things and like because
Yeah.
him and the Supreme Intelligence are apparently
They
buddies.
they're like, hey man, what's going on? Nothing much. Just chilling.
And then all of a sudden, a giant being called Tempest shows up and trying to suck the life out of Rick Jones, and craziness starts as soon as Kang the Conqueror shows up. It's and then what?
Oh, you gonna say something? No.
Oh no, you were gonna get to it.
But and then it's revealed that before King the Conqueror shows up, that Tempest was being sent by Immortus. And then King the Conqueror shows up, begins fighting him, and Immortus summons an entire army. And then the Supreme Intelligence and I don't think Libra at the time, right now. No, he has not helped out begin. But he is like, okay, I need help. All right, time to pull the plan. And they summon the time shenanigans to pull the 7 Avengers.
Well, they give they reawaken Rick, and through Rick they use the conduit, his special powers to bring out
whatever his power is.
To bring out the 7 Avengers.
Yeah, Perry had something called Destiny Force. Like, look, my only assumption with Destiny Force as a power system is it looks like Get Erased to me. So,
what? It's something. I don't know. It's a power, all right.
It's sort of like having the powers of the Reality Stone. It's like Rick Jones is a literal god, and he doesn't know how to use those powers yet.
Oh, okay.
Lovely. And I think he's a crippled at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, he's crippled? Okay.
Yeah, going on that Professor X action. That's why in the cover he's on a wheelchair.
Oh.
And then
the
next two issues he's gonna have his own battle, like his own battle seat, battle chair.
What?
So we can begin with issue 2 just to pick up the story to introduce our 7 Avengers assemble for the team. So we got, of course, Captain America, because you can't have a Captain America, Avengers book without Captain America, of course. Then, I see Wasp there. Cool. I think that is Hawkeye on that corner. Cool. We got Giant Man, and Captain Marvel has a weird suntan that day. And why is there 2 Hanks?
There's 2 Hanks.
Why is there 2 Hanks? And who is this chick? Is that Who is Songbird? What do you mean she's part of the Thunderbolts? I thought the Thunderbolts consisted of all the losers from MCU. And Bucky.
By the way, can I just say real quick, when it comes to the Thunderball movie coming up, I will be actually amazed if Taskmaster actually makes it to the end of the movie. I fucking doubt it.
Here's
But it'd be kind of funny though. Just, oh hey, Taskmaster, you actually made it, girl. Good for you. Yeah, it was a close one. Ooh wee.
you know that's kind of funny is that they
Hmm.
kill her off and then resurrect her later.
Oh my gosh, that would actually be really funny.
Yeah, somehow. But anyway, so in this second issue, we just have our 7 Avengers. No, we're not going into the personal issues yet until later.
Until
Because
later. Okay.
That's where the fun really begins. So just imagine you're on your day, just a normal day at Avengers, on specific moments in time. All of a sudden, you're pulled in, and your greatest enemy is like, you have. I need
Hey,
you to fight.
Avengers, help me out.
Kang the Conqueror is telling you, pick up a gun. You need to help me. They're going to kill us all.
And then it's like,
Kang, what are you doing here? Or there's no time for that. Just pick up the damn gun and fight.
No, no time for that.
and you need to help out Rick. They're all killing up for this one guy that you all know.
For some reason.
And of course, Yellow Jacket, of course, is like, cool, let's go.
Here I go killing again.
Oh boy, here I go killing again.
And then Hank, and then Giant Man Hank, modern Hank's immediate reaction goes, shit, and she goes, I know. Let's just.
Man, Yellow Jacket Hank in this issue. he's
in this
he's
issue, this entire story.
Oh no, not just this. Yeah, no. What am I saying? Not just this. Like just the entire run. Whew. Yeah, Hank, buddy, what? You all right, man? Hank was yeah, like you know, I could kind of see why people, you know, make fun of the slap and all that, because, yeah, Hank here, well, Yellow Jacket Hank here, man.
Chains, you want to know what's the best part about that?
Why? What's the best part?
The slap also happened when he was Yellow Jacket.
What was Hank's problem?
He basically had a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Okay. And that just causes him to be an asshole?
Yeah, like remember in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, where at the end of where the whole conflict of like how Hank is a pacifist, while and trying to seek peaceful solutions. But it's clash. It was like that. It was being built over time, and then the chemicals happen. That is why Yellow Jacket views older Hank as a wuss.
So he is on drugs.
Yeah.
Let's go. Everything goes back to drugs. See, and you said that drugs wasn't cool, Ninjato. Counter argument. Hank being an asshole is kind of funny.
No thanks. But anyway, so and then I just love it how at this issue beginning part we see that Wasp is like, oh, that Cap, he's fighting kind of. Oh no.
You know he's got the intensity, but like it's not bravery. It's kind of got a lot of anger.
You okay there, Cap? Cap's going through some stuff at the moment.
Yeah, and then the fight ends with Rick Jones is like full power.
Full power. Oh gosh.
And then that's when we get everyone to kind of understand what's going on. The hooded man is revealed to be a guy named Livra, who's apparently part of Zodiac.
Yeah, the Zodiac, the I think it was the Zodiac Force. They were an Avengers antagonist.
Okay.
So like a lot of the antagonists in these stories are Avengers.
Hmm.
Yeah, and essentially we get like Livra recapping about where he's been in the continuity, just to
Just to run up to speed, you know.
yeah, run up to speed, like, because clear, like, I want to inform our audience at this point, just to understand, the Avengers were not a very popular book.
Really?
They were you know, they were one of the bigger teams, but they by no means were number one.
Oh.
Yeah, they were
recently.
in terms of superhero teams, you had X-Men and you had Fantastic Four, then you have Avengers.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Avengers did have, they had their cult. They had their their loyal fans. But they were not household names like they are now.
Oh, so that Avengers movie really just helped her boost her numbers.
Yeah, the MCU really did. Because
okay.
even though the Avengers is supposed to be like, it's one that would contains the most superheroes
Yeah.
out of all the teams, in terms of comic books, they were not. They were well known as a name and as like a supporting characters.
Oh, okay.
Like occasionally, individual characters within the team in their own books would get popularities, like good runs. Like when David Michelini tackles Iron Man, he will have a good amount of time, be in higher charts, but then he will go down. Like, and same with Cap. Like, but overall, it's like in comparison to X-Men, who was such a popular team that they had 5 teams sprung from X-Men.
Avengers is where you put all your A- people in.
Wow.
I would not even say A-. I would just put them. In terms of, you put the legacy characters in, and then Pacific heroes that the writer likes.
Okay.
That is not Spider-Man. That is not Fantastic Four. That is not X-Men.
All right. So we really do gotta give the Avengers movie more credit.
Yeah.
Oh, you give the entire MCU credit. It's like,
yeah.
If it weren't for the success of the MCU, Avengers would still, X-Men and Spider-Man and Fantastic Four would be pushed a lot more. We would have a lot more films in those properties.
Okay. I see.
So anyway, basically Kang just goes skedaddle. It's like, peace. I'll resolve this now by myself.
Ciao.
So Avengers, you keep Rick out of the time, out of the timeline where Immortus can see him, and I'll bring his head on a silver platter.
Thanks, King. All right, deuces, Avengers.
And then like Libra is like, all right, I'm here to take. Libra's there is like, okay, time for me to take you into our safe space. And then once they're there, this is when we finally kind of get to the big reveal about when were these teammates assembled from.
Wasp and Giant Man were from the current comics, well, contemporary comics.
The present.
Yeah.
So.
Songbird and Captain Marvel were from the future.
And then we got Hank Pym, who's like, on the wedding day.
Yeah, like he was like you got Yellow Jacket right there from the 1968 issue of Avengers, and then you got Hawkeye at the end of the 1972 event, the Kree Skull War.
Okay.
And then you got Cap.
Who is the most shocking. And I like
Cap's
like
not
the
really
way-
in the best headspace at the moment.
yeah, I just love the moment where we finally get to hear him talking, because we got a little bit of him like confronting Libra, being angry with Shadow, which is like, whoa. With Rick Jones, and it's like, I'll just read what I was in Washington. Says Captain America, thickly hesitating. I was fighting the Secret Empire. I chased their leader, number one, into the White House, and I saw, and then Wasp says he committed self-deletion.
Is this during the Nomad arc?
This was before the Nomad arc. This was what kicks it off.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when he says, Cap goes, you know? Of course you must. You must know everything. What happens next? What I do, even though I don't know yet myself. Like, basically confronting. Basically, the way when I was reading it, Wasp is like, I needed to look up what I sent Magic, because there's a bunch of hilarity. Oh yeah, I did the aw crap. Wasp is like, oh crap, when he sees Hank. Captain America is depression. And then you got Songbird. Because everyone else, other than Captain Marvel, remembers her as a villain. It's like, hey, aren't you a villain?
Yeah,
I'm good now. Oh.
It's like,
Bad,
okay.
but now we're good.
we were bad, but now we're good.
We were bad, but now we're good.
That was the plan. You see, the plan was to be heroes, and then we do our evil scheme. But the thing is, me and my friends, some of my teammates, really liked being heroes.
Baron Zemo looked at them and was like, "You gotta be joking, right?"
Songbird is like, no, I actually like being a hero.
Hawkeye comes in and is like, "This is free real estate."
Free real estate.
He ends up taking over the team.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like during this part, the Thunderbolts would be going on the run because they ditched Zemo.
And Zemo was being spiteful, and it's like, okay, boom. We were actually villains this entire time.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, so I just so essentially Captain America, who would normally take the leadership role, is such in a compromised state that Wasp, my brain is being confused with Scarlet Witch right now. Wasp, Janet, decides to be the leader, which is cool.
She was the leader during the 80s.
Oh,
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
It's because
And Janet throughout this whole run was really just trying to keep everything together.
I wish she had Hank, the sane Hank.
That's true.
Oh, Hank and Hawkeye.
she had
Really brilliant.
Well, Hawkeye was. Do you really count Hawkeye as a supporting force?
Well, like Janet at the very least trusts him enough to leave him alone with, someone she perceives as an ex-villain and, a crazy person. So like, like Clint is at the very least trustworthy.
Yeah. At least he's not going to turn out to be a Skrull or anything.
I mean, he's I wouldn't call him the most stabilizing of forces, but he's Hawkeye. You know what you're getting with him.
Yeah.
At least you know what you're getting with him.
Yeah. So what the
He's gonna be an
Avengers
asshole, but he's your asshole.
Yeah. So what the Avengers decided to do in this run at this point on is we're just gonna ignore Kang. And just to we're probably gonna do a little bit of breezing through because it's 12 issues. A lot of craziness. But yeah, they ignore Kang and then they go to his home capital of Chronopolis and gets involved in his fight.
Oh.
You might want to check out.
Yeah, I looked at it. Pretty funny.
Let me see.
So in the third part, we just have them participating in the war between Kang and Immortus, who is the future Kang. So Kang versus himself.
Guys, yeah, like what better war you can have other than your future self?
And so yeah, they have the battle in the city, and after assisting Kang, and Kang is like, "Fine, you're participating. First, we're gonna put Rick into a better wheelchair."
Issue 3. Sorry to interrupt you, but issue 3 has one of my favorite speeches from Kang, where he kind of he basically lays out to the Avengers just how the reason why he is going out of the limb for Rick, because he understands that the timeline needs to be left alone, because that's how it becomes strong. It needs to become a forest. It's it's such a great speech from him.
Yeah. And then it's also followed up by I guess oh hey Janet, mind if we have a cozy nice sarcophagus? And Janet goes, no personal lives right now. We're on the job. And then she says, now with Songbird, you could totally. Which is funny. And now we get a little subplot where Hank is trying to flirt with Songbird.
And we all see and we all know how that ends. Hank, Yellow Jacket can't help himself.
You just can't.
That's how he shows his. That's how he shows his romantic love.
Through abuse, clearly. So another thing we did not mention about Captain Marvel, which this issue actually explores a bit more. He is the son of the first Captain Marvel, and he does not like being an Avenger. He's like, no, I don't want to be an Avenger. I'm just stuck right here.
Well, he's saying, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to I don't want to be with you guys, but there's a sense of he's letting on more than you think. Yeah, he's letting on more than you think. He has something that he's not sharing.
Yeah, and it's basically it took up until like the final chapters before you learn what it is, which is a good twist, and I did not see it coming. But yeah, basically it ends. This issue ends with Kangs being defeated and our group of heroes having to escape inside of a sphinx.
His Kang's special Sphinx time machine.
Of course.
I just love
that makes
comics.
complete sense.
Look, you can make a time machine any shape and sizes, so of course you could make it into a giant sphinx.
Why not?
Well, you see, he was going through, his, his Egyptian pharaoh phase. He needed a cool ride to go with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's only fair that he gets that big ass sphinx.
Yeah, and so what happens in this one, and it's setting up the rest. Basically, a MacGuffin gets introduced in the end of 3. And Mortis grabs something called the Forever Crystal. We just don't know what it actually. We know it generally does is that it helps alter timelines, and like it can erase realities, and it's an all-powerful time item. It's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey shenanigans.
Scientific gobbledygook.
So it was told that whatever you do to the past doesn't completely erase the past, it just diverts away. So the time crystal, Immortus needs the time crystal because it gives him free reign to overwrite the past like a save card.
Like a save card.
Yeah. And thus this begins them detecting 3 anomalies throughout times, our Avengers, and they decide to split up into 3 groups, where we have Group 1 being Giant Man Hank and Captain America going to the future. We got by the way, Hawkeye kind of kicked Libra out. It's like, we don't need you, screw you.
Screw off, creepo. Oh wow, way to go, Hawkeye.
Well, and for that, Hawkeye gets sent with Songbird and Yellowjacket Hank to the past, to the Cowboys times, while Janet and Captain Marvel goes to the 60s.
The 50s, 58.
Oh, the 50s. I forgot. Yeah, it's the 50s, not the 60s.
As we speak, Magneto is diverting a bullet into
exactly
to JFK's head.
No, this is the 50s, so it would be
okay, no, so a few years later.
He's busy hunting Nazis.
Now don't let this distract you from the fact that it is now officially confirmed by the CIA that yes, Nazis did in fact flee to South America.
I mean, we all knew that.
Yeah, but now it's like 100% confirmed with the JFK files. So, woo!
So does that mean they could, at any point in another continuity, if they kept that element in Magneto's character backstory of him hunting Nazis, that he could make Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver into Hispanics?
Yes.
I don't see why not.
That's actually kind of fun. Okay, so in the future, it's a post-apocalypse dealing with alien invasion. Black Panther, as you see in the cover, he is incredibly ood.
He's
Also, Jocasta, she's in that group.
Pregnant Jocasta, Crimson Dynamo, Undra, and I'm not really familiar with the other
Killraven.
characters.
Kill-
Killraven and Living Light.
Killraven and Living Lightning.
It's not my Crimson Dynamo. Where's the big ass gears on his shoulder?
Yeah. But so essentially, they are dealing with a group of Avengers who are the last survivors of these alien wars, and thus have become a more killy attitude. And then you have the events in the cowboy times where the group actually arrives around the same time of another storyline where Kang is trying to take over the Old West.
And then
So they have to now solve the anomalies, but can't get involved in the actual original story because it was not the one that actually happened. That's not what they're looking for.
Sorry, guys. We're not supposed to be here.
Meanwhile, and then at the same quote-unquote time, we have Captain Marvel and Wasp being in a fair. An innocent fair in the 50s.
Exactly.
No,
just an
59 specifically.
It's just an innocent fair.
Imagine a person watching the Nixon JFK debate, and they're actually watching a mutant and a Skrull debate each other.
Yeah, because it turns out Nixon's a Skrull.
No, not Nixon, the 30th president of Earth. Gosh.
okay, like it's also funny because like the whole situation that the conflict started off with Janet and Captain Marvel was that Marvel boy thought that they were pinkos and they were going to take Richard Nixon to China.
Yeah. It's so funny because Janet is recapping history to Captain Marvel. And it turns out there were other heroes around who turns out to be the Avengers from the 1950s.
1950s Avengers. Sure, why not? Let's roll with that.
Really recognize 3D man.
So the 1950s Avengers are actually the agents of Atlas. They are a kind of a what if story where what if there was a team of superheroes in the 50s, and it's also kind of a tongue-in-cheek poking at Marvel in general and what if they were all composed of characters from the previous company before Marvel, Atlas.
Okay.
So these are all Atlas characters.
I see.
But it was definitely fun where in that storyline we have which goes into the next issue, because this is when all the most of the time shenanigans. No, this is where the 50s one gets resolved, where it's a classic superhero team up where you have at first they fight each other, but then it's like because of the misunderstanding of the previous issue, but then it's like, oh, I'm on your side, you're on my side.
Oh, well, geez, I'm so sorry about that. Hey man, no hard feelings, right? Nah, none taken. We cool.
My favorite interaction is Gorilla Man telling telling
Oh
Captain
yeah,
telling Captain
I'm a
Marvel,
registered cat. I'm a registered Democrat.
it's like I may be a registered Democrat and I may not agree with everything Richard has to say, but I'll be damned if I give him to pinko scum like you. I'm like, man.
Such a delight. Like, I would really love to see this in an actual continuity in Marvel. Somehow incorporate this.
Now listen here, or Cap. Now now listen here, Cap. Computers may be twice as fast in the future, but the average voter is as drunk and stupid as ever.
I think the best part of their fight is how it ends, is because it leads up to Venus. Because partly I'm thinking of Marvel Rivals. How the joke is that Ned East loves their white blonde women with blue eyes, and she solos Captain Marvel and the Wasp.
All right.
I'm just thinking of like that she does like an ultimate. She does like a double KO. Unfortunately, the story end. The story end kind of ends anticlimactically, but more dramatically. Immortus shows up as like a general, reveals that Richard Nixon's a Skrull, and then proceeds to wipe the whole timeline out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there goes that timeline.
Well, no space wars for you.
Yeah.
No space wars.
Meanwhile, and also reveals to be the first clue of like this group called the Space Phantoms.
Yeah, the Space Phantoms.
The Space Phantoms. Whatever their dealio is.
They were they were OG Avengers threats ever since the second issue.
Huh.
When it was just one Phantom. And their whole deal is they're sort of like Skrulls, where they'll mimic anyone and anything, but the trick is that if they have to drag them into a realm they occupy called Limbo, which is where the Immortus and the puppet masters, let's say, live. So they need to drag someone to Limbo and keep them there while they're in disguise.
I see.
Yeah. Also, what's going on in the storyline is not so much progression on the Cap and Hank storyline, but we do get progression of the Cowboys. They think that, Hank and Janet gave us the wrong coordinates. They screwed up. Unfortunately, their time machine got stolen by Kang the Conqueror, who then blew up the cave.
He blew up the cave. Well, there goes our ride back home.
And they were picked up by other heroes who were revealed to be Space Phantoms.
Yeah, the fun thing, the real fun thing about like the Old West, the Old West part is just like bringing back all these the Old West heroes, like the Two Gun Kid and the Phantom Rider, who was the original Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Before like the deal, before the deal with the devil. And
I love the part where Hawkeye figured out it was Space Phantoms when I was like, "Hey, you're supposed to be dead. What are you doing at this time?"
I read all your novels. I read all the dime novels. I think that so. The next one, because it covers the most of the future stuff. So we get in the future that Cap and Modern Hank are in. As I mentioned before, aliens invaded. Only the team that you saw in the previous covers. There are the Avengers left, along with 10,000 people, and they have taken, much like the Cap that we have, a darker turn. Like they embrace killing. It's like it's necessary, and Cap is still having a hard time grappling with it.
Yeah. I gotta say, from my perspective, because the Marvel stuff I grew up on is mostly, the MCU movies and stuff. So it's just kind of funny how, they're like, oh man, what happened? You guys are just into killing now. It's just kind of funny that, that's, a big, thing when, in the MCU, they're like, ah!
Casually shows a compilation of all the times that Captain America throws people to their deaths from
Casually shows Spider-Man killing multiple aliens.
Okay, that one's I'm not a fan of.
Well, I don't know. The fucking hey man, you get to see Spider-Man hang out with Iron Man in Endgame.
Okay, Changits, calm down. Yeah.
But no, it's just kind of funny to me that they make it a big deal when there's several times in Winter Soldier there is no way that guy survived getting a shield tossed right into his fucking forehead. Cap cracked his skull open there.
Though it is kind of funny, some people pointed out when Man of Steel came out, and then you compare it to Age of Ultron, how much they put entire efforts into putting Avengers in the more heroic role than Man of Steel, showing how the people are getting off of the island by helicarriers, and how the Avengers are purposely leading civilians away from danger.
And then
and
then some woman will then later show up at Tony's little conference and just say, "Hey man, fuck you." Oh damn, guys, she was right. Well, guess Daddy Government needs to step in and hold me accountable. That's literally the point of Civil War. Some woman just went to Tony hey, fuck you. You killed my son. And Tony just goes, God, she's right, guys. I killed her son. Government needs to hold us accountable.
See, if this was comics Tony, he would stand up from that stage, walk down, and see if she was a Skrull or not.
No, he would scan her. He would be in his Iron Man suit. No, he would scan her, and then it's revealed that she was actually an alien or something, and then he just pulls up and shoots her.
So,
yeah. Comic Tony can be a jerk, but also as opposed to Tony Stark. He is a lot more, at least earlier comics. I've read Demon in the Bottle.
Yeah.
And getting back to this thing is very much in the mold of the Avengers morality of the series. There's actually a moment back in issue 3 where Hawkeye mentioned is hey, thanks Kang for giving me these new trick arrows, but that he made him too powerful. It's quite hard not to kill anyone.
Basically living a lie with everybody in his life.
Hey man, Kang, it's all cool and all, but this is a bit excessive, don't you think? Nah. Nah, you're not killing enough, Hawkeye.
And this is kind of what drives the conflict on there, because we go to Wakanda and the remains of a Latverian mine, and also Jocasta's going through a pregnancy, which is I just love it how the comic is like, how does that make any sense? Like Hank even says, it's like, I did not.
Oh, I love how Hank went like this is incredible. I want to research it, and also I'm just proud because I'm going to be a grandfather.
Oh, Hank created Jocasta. Okay.
No, he created Ultron.
Oh,
like that's the way he explained it. It's like he created Ultron,
okay.
based on his own brainwaves, by the way.
All right.
Ultron created Jocasta to be his wife, to be the Wasp equivalent.
Okay.
So technically, Hank would be a grandfather.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, but meanwhile, we face bugs, and the whole thing gets resolved by Captain America.
Wouldn't he be a great grandfather then?
Yeah, but it would still be a grandfather.
All right.
So to get back, basically, Cap defends this glowing butterfly lady. After she touched him, and they kind of telepathically interacted with each other. And Cap is like reaffirming his moral stance. It's revealed that the bugs are actually her children, that they need vibranium, and thus confronting T'Challa. Because T'Challa was needing vibranium for his spaceships to continue a war.
So either, yeah, that was actually really nice. That was actually really neat. Like you could either, you could either doom her and her, or you could either doom her and continue the war, or you can help her out.
The way he put it is like you can you have two choices ahead of you. You have death. You can you can use this remaining vibranium to starve out these children and risk not only Jocasta and her child's life by continuing this war, or life by giving Jocasta's child and these bugs another chance at life.
Yeah, and then at the same time we have Jocasta now having the child up, and Hank helps deliver, which is a nice. Like,
yeah.
Look, I am a fan of having Hank to have a decent moment of peace, because I know Marvel's never gonna give him one.
Oh, that's a shame.
So now we have to go back to the Old West, where now they discover who these aliens are. The trio now has to find, in the Old West, have to now trying to get to the time machine. And Songbird tends to know all about this, about how to do it precisely, which rouses a suspicion.
Songbird, how do you know all this? Just vibes, man. Hey, man, it's just vibes and all,
It's like, man, those records, they sure have like a ton of things in there, and then like Yellow Jacket's like,
So yeah, this is what just Hank does. But Hank does it just he just backhand a woman.
Hank.
Oh man, I like you, Songbird. Do you know what that means? No, I get to express my love physically
Yellow Jacket. Gosh, Yellow Jacket Hank Pym. Dude was just. Wow.
Dude was, he is the chaotic neutral of his time.
Yeah, he is definitely chaotic. But it is revealed that he didn't actually to reveal that it was actually a space phantom this whole time.
Oh my gosh.
The real Songbird was captured. So by defeating Space Phantom, they rescue Songbird, allowing him to go back to the present, where Songbird actually thanks Hank, and then Hank does a little bit of the whole you want to give me a kiss?
He tries to do a little bit of adultery.
And then Songbird just does a sonic punch in the gut and reveals it's like,
this is so fun. What the fuck, Nick? What are you talking about?
What?
What?
What are you
Nick.
What are you talking about?
That sounds like something you would do, Nick.
Was it Cal? Was it Big Fish? Was it Butter? You went to a club today? Was it Big Fish?
No, okay. I just want to continue to make fun. Come on, we need to make fun of.
All right. I'll just ask him personally.
Yeah, but essentially, Songbird reveals is that in her time, she is best buds with the Wasp, and Janet is married with Hank. Which is so funny. Everyone's reaction to it, it's like Wasp is like, man, this is weird.
This is this is the way this whole thing ends, right? It's like, Hank, what are you doing? Like, it's like Hank hitting on him. It's like, what are you doing, Hank?
Honestly,
what are you doing?
I think this Hank honestly is thinking like an Andrew Tate person.
Well, like
Yellow Jacket applied to Hustleversity.
Yes.
Yeah, like he probably thinks that if he does all the things he does, that Janet, to prove her love for him, would be.
He's gonna Yellow Jacket. He applies to Hustleversity. He graduates, ends up being charged with human trafficking.
He's got his PhD, his pimps and hoes degrees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The pimps and hoes degrees.
Like,
Yeah, that. Yeah, I it's a little bit uncomfortable. Man, if they do this storyline in modern times, yeah, that would be like the inspiration for the characterization. Is that he would totally be, he would just be verbatim Andrew Tate.
So then
this is why I think women deserve less.
So then they meet up back at the Sphinx.
Yeah,
Right.
and Rick Jones at this point was relegated to being the guy on the chair, which he hated. Which, by the way, he got his legs back. He can walk at this point.
Somehow. Yeah.
Destiny Force.
the Destiny Force.
What even is Destiny Force? They don't really explain.
I have no idea. Just roll along.
They don't really explain what it is. It's just, he's got Destiny Force, guys.
Oh,
it's important.
Like the Destiny Force was kind of introduced into this in this limited series because it was meant to be, kind of giving a name to whatever happened at the end of the Kree Skrull War, because seemingly at the end of the Kree Skrull War, Rick Jones was just able to like bring in Golden Age superheroes for some reason, and then Kurt and Carlos was like, "Hey, why don't we just make a story about that?" Like,
Yeah. Yeah, apparent just random powers, and
he can just do that, guys.
you can do it.
He can just do it. It's that simple. He's Rick Jones.
Yeah, so issue 7 is them going to bring the fight to Immortus in his home turf.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jones has been forced to stay again.
He doesn't like being the guy in the chair. And everyone's going, all right, let's go beat up Immortus. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did some things I kind of forget because it's an overarching thing. They keep bringing up this thing like the Destiny War. It's like, what is this Destiny? Like this MacGuffin, also a thing of like, what is this Destiny War? And also we get to see recaps of Immortus's shenanigans in the timeline throughout this whole storyline. Because Kang's TV. Right. It's like,
there was
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There was like several issues where like, well, no, I think it was like just 2 issues where like a good chunk of it was just recapping everything with Kang. Like, yeah. So, anyways, this is Kang's whole deal, guys.
Yeah, we'll get to it's actually like the next issue, I think. Yeah, I think it's like the next issue or 2.
Oh, it's the next issue. Okay.
Yeah. But then they go to Immortus's lair,
and where they suffer character development.
Because Limbo, Limbo is not really a place; it's more of a concept. Yeah, and they get dropped into into like tests of character,
of trauma, exposing the.
Fucking Hank.
Hank. Okay, let's start with Hank because his one is. He basically gets revealed. It's like, yeah, you were Hank Pym all along, the giant man all along, and it's like, no, I grew up. I don't want to grow up to be a loser.
But it's like Luke Skywalker when
Search your feelings, Hank Pym. You know them to be true. No!
You lose, Janet Van Dyne. You be in prison, and then you become a depressed loser that you see.
Yellow Jacket immediately tries to commit suicide.
Yeah, by trying to go to Immortus, and then immediately, you know what? I'm actually going to just betray the Avengers.
I'm going to betray the Avengers. Hank, please.
Meanwhile, Janet is trying to find her Hank, because I think at this point they're like, are they like back together?
They are, yeah. They
not
are
married, but yeah.
They're not married, but they are getting, they're reconciliating their marriage. Well, not their marriage, but just their relationship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hope nothing bad ever happens. Like, I don't know, a Skrull ends up replacing Hank Pym, turning Janet into a bomb.
What?
That happened in Secret Invasion in the comics. They killed Janet off by having a Skrull replace Hank Pym, give her special powers to help in another situation, and then revealed that it was an entire bomb by making her grow bigger.
That's so silly.
This is the 2000s.
That's
Changus.
So silly.
That's the 2000s.
That's comics in general. Don't just really get.
I know. I understand. It's just like comics in general, but man, that's so silly.
Oh, wrong Destiny War, Nick. I know.
Oh, there's more than one Destiny War? Of course there is.
Just so you know, all of that is happening in the background, Nick. It's like the it's like the Japan it's like the Pacific Theater, and this is the
what? This is the Eastern Front? Oh my gosh, how many Destiny Wars are there?
I don't want to know. I'm pretty sure there's probably more. It's like it's a stereo. It's so fantasy named.
Uh-huh.
It does sound like some kind of uh like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
plot.
like you would put. Yeah, you would put in a fantasy. Like you can even do it as like your main
Behold,
plot.
the Destiny Wars. Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
It's like
So anyway, so Janet is separated from Hank, and
Mhm.
she hears Hank's voice, but also multiple Hanks, and they're all contradicting themselves. While Hank has to deal with fighting a whole bunch of people.
it's getting really late. It's not really late, but we're going kind of slow. Let's just
Yeah.
All right.
I'll go
Yeah,
through.
I'm trying to summarize, but we also have Cap having to deal with
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury.
Oh
who
yeah,
is,
that's
like,
right, Nick Fury.
White Nick Fury.
Why are you white?
It's like Nick, why do you have your eye? Why do you have both your eyes? It's like
Why?
cynicism, Cap. Cynicism.
But why are you white?
Yeah. But meanwhile, Songbird gets the most interesting. She gets the whole guilty courtroom.
Yeah, that's right. The
Yo,
courtroom.
you're white trash. Get the fuck out of the Avengers.
You're a criminal. You
How-
betrayed us. You're a loser.
How could you? No, I did. That's not true. No.
And then Captain Marvel shows up and basically professes love with a kiss.
Oh yeah. That's right.
And by the way,
That
if
happened.
you wondering what is Hawkeye doing in this, just a simple fight.
It's Hawkeye. Hawkeye knows what Hawkeye's about.
Hawkeye technically sees his grave, and he's like, "Huh." So this is how it ends. and then Tempest goes to make sure that it comes true, and then Hawkeye is like, "Well, I was Goliath before. Beat that."
Wait, he was Goliath?
Yeah.
At a point, yeah.
Huh.
That was
The name gets passed around a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
it was during the Kree Skrull War where Hank gave him like some of the particles,
Uh-huh.
so he became Goliath.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Now we can. I think we're gonna be very quick summary. So basically, the Avengers return minus Yellow Jacket, who at the end of the issue is like, "I'm gonna join you to take out the Avengers, so you can make a timeline where I get what I want."
Yeah. And he goes up to a sword and he's like, "Talk, bitch."
And then
the
it's
sword
revealed,
talks.
The sword talks.
and it was revealed to be a space phantom, and thus we get the massive lore drop about how Immortus just was responsible for almost everything in Avengers history.
It was me, Barton. It was me all along.
What's
It was
all-
I paused time and jerked you off, so you would nuts at a woman's touch.
I'm not gonna lie. Anytime that like they drop a whole "it was me all along" like thing for the plot, I kind of just immediately kind of go, okay, you've kind of lost, you sort of lost me a bit.
This really does feel like it's trying to
Up the stakes.
not up the stakes, but like fix plot holes from older stuff.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah, there's like so many like, which I do like. But that is like one of the weaknesses of comics. Sometimes it's like, okay, trying to fix plot holes. I know this from other people. This is how I fix it in my new storyline. So it's
like it this is a really like I really like this issue because it's just kind of let's fix the timeline by just kind of adding a bit of retcons. Like this
Like
is
a
where,
whole bunch of retcons. I'm not sure if half of them were already retcons before this. But like Vision being the original Human Torch, like what?
he wait, technically yes, that was true. He was made out of the parts of the original Human Torch. It was they retconned that
That's so...
that
Oh my goodness.
that part where Professor Horton was like, he was like, "This is not my stuff. What is this?" That was what they retconned.
Yeah, and then like just the whole Wanda and Vision relationship was an entire scheme to remove children. So let me get this straight. So is it in another timeline, in the original timeline that caused this prediction? Was it supposed to be Hawkeye who was gonna be Wanda's lover?
Yeah, everybody thought Hawkeye and Wanda were going to be a thing.
I guess was that like the original Avengers issue with the Cap's sort of forming.
Yeah, and then you got that Thor storyline. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, we were totally messing with Thor on that storyline.
Yeah, that's what makes me feel it's that just glares at we're trying to fix plot holes.
Yeah, because like
So what was the plot hole at the time?
I don't know. I haven't read that Thor issue.
So for that Thor issue, like they wanted, editorial kind of wanted to remove Thor's ability to travel through time.
Okay.
So they just created this story where they gave the Phantoms a home, a home planet, and Thor needed to save it by putting all of his time powers into it.
But no, that's not what happened, though. That's not what happened. It was Immortus. Oh my gosh!
It was Immortus all along.
Whoa!
He paused time and he jerked Thor off that
He used his time powers to literally sap. He literally just sapped the time powers out of Thor. Give me your time powers. It's mine now.
I think also it's just the idea that he's like, yeah, I'm just his ways of him trying to like essentially this whole reveal is that the villains of this whole story is these things called timekeepers and who basically wants humanity to remain on Earth and not go out into space at all. And Immortus is somebody who likes the Avengers, thus he doesn't go all out of trying to wipe them out usually. But he's willing to interfere with their lives to make that into reality. Despite that, he ends up creating so many situations. Thus he keeps on trying to replace it, trying to fix it by like controlling Tony twice.
Twice.
I love the addition, making the addition of the reason Tony killed like the Supreme Intelligence at the end of the Kree Skull War was not only because of like xenophobia, but because it was xenophobia induced by Immortus.
Immortus went, all right, Tony. Time. I'm gonna give you a cool little power. Oh, really? What's it called? Xenophobia.
Yeah.
And Tony starts developing space marine armor.
So don't worry, we'll get into more background shenanigans because just to move it along, because at the end of this issue, Yellow Jacket shows up having control of the limbo bugs to knock out all the Avengers presents minus Rick Jones, because he just goes, nah, I'm gonna go on my own. I got my own plans.
I got my own plans.
Which then leads us into the next issue where we learn all about Kang the Conqueror.
And how this is actually, for the longest time, I always just thought the Kang's face was blue.
Turns out not.
Oh my gosh, the MCU was accurate all along, and we mocked them for it.
It was still dumb looking.
It's very.
Ninjato, Kang was the least of Quantumania's problems. Okay,
He really was.
Kang was the least of Quantumania's problems.
The blue face is just a really, really thin but powerful piece of armor.
Yeah. But anyway, so we get like basically the whole life story of Kang the Conqueror. Essentially, he was a rich kid who was bored.
And descendant of Reed Richards.
The descendant of Reed Richards.
Hey Reed, your great grandkid is gonna be a massive asshole.
Yeah, well that will be retcon later.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
And then the next writer will try to incorporate that retcon so that it works in the Kang timeline.
yeah, of course. I don't know how they incorporate it. Basically, the retcon is that in the Young Avengers book, it's revealed that Iron Lad, because of Cassie Lang, Scott Lang's daughter, dies. Iron Lad tries to go back in time to save her, essentially. And he basically has that quote is like, Kang tries to control time and he kept failing. He's like, I won't fail.
Man,
But anyway, let's go back to talking about Kang and his time of trying to cure his boredom of being in a peaceful paradise by becoming a pharaoh.
I'm bored.
He went from pharaoh to space conqueror because he overshot to just loving to mess with the Avengers.
Fighting the Avengers is now just a hobby for him.
Whenever Kang needs to kick back and relax, he just goes back to the 21st century and battles it out with Thor and Captain America.
And then, of course, his quest to find Ravonna, his wife. Except for that one time where a variant of him tries to get in the pants of Mantis.
I am so tired of variants.
Yeah, well,
I am so tired of variants, please.
Well, Immortus is
I know, he's technically a variant. I'm so burnt out on variants.
Kang, when he finds out Immortus is the future version of him, seething, molding.
Yeah,
it's like courage, ew, Immortus, nerd, ew. Why would I be this bit? Why would I be this bookworm?
Yeah, and he's like, it's like, I have grown old. I have conquered almost everything. I am now just an administrator. I am getting so bored. I'm in my 60s. Ravonna, you're basically the default ruler of the Empire. I'm gonna try to be Pharaoh again.
I'm gonna try to be Pharaoh again.
That'll be a fun retirement. Kang, despite being a time travel master,
Uh-huh.
never conquered immortality.
Mm.
I'm kind of surprised about that he doesn't like age slower than most people.
Yeah. Well, the way he sort of conquers because he has like that whole chip on his thing that keeps on going to a new body reset. But anyway, so he was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna accept my destiny as Immortus. And then when he sees, oh, the 3 timekeepers, he's a lapdog.
You're
No.
No.
You're
You're cringe. You're telling me I'm to become just a lackey? Gosh. This is embarrassing.
sorry, Immortus. We have to take you to a farm upstate.
Yeah. When he goes back home, Ravonna is like, hey, my lord, do you want to know reports of the Empire? He's like, I'm busy, honey. And he like brings up like
I need to kill myself.
I gotta kill myself.
And then it's like, okay, no more transferring bodies. I don't want any more cheats. I want a pure.
Would killing your future self count as suicide?
No.
No?
To Kang, no.
But for comedy reasons, yes.
Yes.
Alright.
But anyway, so Kang does.
Uh-huh. He does what Kang does.
Yeah, and like does all the conquering. That's how he gets. We just circle right back to the present, sort of, where we meet.
Sort of.
We meet Kang, who sort of survived the attack on his city. Everything is destroyed, and now he's back with the Supreme Intelligence. And Rick Jones is there. Is like, boy, I got a plan for you. You're gonna love this.
I bet. Oh, I better. I'm getting real bored and irritated.
And now we go into this one. This cover. Weird. I'm a little bit weirded out by the pose of Songbird. I'm not sure that's a comfortable pose.
Doesn't have to be comfortable.
And also, I can't see Janet. Where's Janet?
She's probably real small somewhere.
Yeah.
They probably like chained her up, but like she's just like dangling in the corner somewhere.
But anyway, in this one, we catch up with our Avengers as they wake up and they encounter the crazy future army of the future who believes that they're the Guardians of the Galaxy thanks to Hank Pym, and the future, despite a big battle, they get defeated.
Yeah, this is pre-modern Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I know. Like Guardians back then was very different from like the movies.
Essentially, just the way it was looked like, it was clear just meant so that we can have an action set piece, because the rest is them talking to the villains of our story, time bureaucrats.
Time bureaucrats, yeah, baby. This is peak comic book. Bureaucrats.
Like, essentially, they want to wipe out humanity. And Mortis is like, no, don't do that. And he's acting as the Avengers defense attorney, which is so fantastic. And essentially the whole thing is that they're going to reveal is that, okay, we're going to just wipe out most timelines.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of them have gone so bad, and like cause destruction to the universe. So in order to do that, we're going to wipe out the ones that don't exist and basically make it so that humanity is permanently cradled to Earth. We're gonna manipulate time events to do that way. And then
Woo!
Hank Pym, you're gonna be Yellow Jacket for your wonderful effort of arresting these fellow criminal Avengers. You're gonna have a timeline where you get to be with Janet, and everything will go well for you. And you can still be your cocky self.
All right.
But then Captain America brings up the obvious question: what percentage?
I'm sorry. Percentage.
What percentage of the timelines were bad?
5%. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, it was 42.
I was making
42,
a joke.
42.
42.
The answer to the universe, life, and all things.
And all the timelines, that the amount of the percentage of timelines where the Avengers are evil and cause destruction in the universe, 42%.
42%.
And then of course everyone is like, that is utter bullcrap.
What are you yapping about?
That is not justice.
You're gonna ruin our lives for percentage?
They really are bureaucrats.
Yeah, the way they were speaking from it, it's like Captain America, this is a justice, and then the timekeepers justice is a concept for lesser beings. We are not interested in it. Only in
that's
survival.
right.
The survival of the entire universe. And then Giant Man goes, ball crap on that. You only care for yourselves.
No, yeah.
And then Janet makes a quote about there must be another way, which then motivates Yellow Jacket to go, yeah, I'm gonna betray all of you. betray the timekeepers, release the Avengers just in time. It's also revealed that he informed the Calvary of the most fun image of I actually need to the time buggy.
The time buggy.
That's my best description of what it is.
Guys, Rick! We saw something bad happen to you. Nah, guys, I'm just here with Kang on a time buggy. The time buggy? Yeah, the time buggy.
Which
There's like some Scooby Doo stuff.
It's some Scooby Doo stuff.
Look at this glorious thing. He has
Hell yeah.
He's driving a front, Kang in the back with guns and the Supreme Intelligence.
I think this is probably the best cover though of the next one.
like men will look at this panel and think, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, oops, buddy. Yeah, and then from here on out, it's all action.
Yeah! Avengers forever.
Where their goal is essentially take out the timekeepers.
Let's just
Stop from using the Forever Crystal to do whatever they want. Of course, there's conflict between them and Kang. Kang wants to kill them, and the Avengers,
Kang,
being heroes.
Kang's doing what Kang does.
And then this is also where we learn from Libra, who reappears again to explain why these sevens were picked. Essentially, Captain America was picked because it has to be that specific moment, because otherwise he would dominate the team and being too rigid. Yellow Jacket was in because he needed a trainer. Wasp is there to be the team leader to give flexibility. Hank is there for, support, providing stable, quiet support, but also to irritate Yellow Jacket.
Hawkeye. You know what you're getting with them.
Hawkeye irritates Yellow Jacket and Libra. And then
this is so silly.
Songbird is because she's linked, essentially, to all of them. Some way. And then Captain Marvel because of something else in the future. Spoilers. And then Rick Jones because he's the fulcrum.
Whatever that means.
He's like the thing that everything revolves around. But anyway, so I just love the moment where Yellow Jacket goes up to Kang and is like, "Hey, buddy, the thing that can track him down," and Kang just wraps his arms around his neck up close.
you better. I don't remember the exact line, but it was like something. It was kind of along the lines like you. It's like, if you were useful to me right now, I would just snap your neck.
Pretty much. And then they chase them. They get to the base, and then the Timekeeper is like, "Okay, we need to use a variety of crystal to wipe out everything. Restart.
Fresh restart."
And the Mortis is like, "No, don't do that. No." And then they just kill.
Oh my gosh! They killed a Mortis! You bastards!
And so they decide, okay, time to use this to unleash every evil Avengers on him, starting the Destiny War.
I know it doesn't have enough points, but when I look at the Captain America right there, I just think Captain Judaism.
No, that Captain America, I'm looking at it. It looks like a Captain Marvel symbol. Actually, it looks like a Captain Creed.
I still can't see it without the Captain Jew. Captain Israel.
Okay.
That was just my first thoughts. It does look like a Captain Marvel symbol, but
Yeah,
I think it's funnier with Captain Israel.
Shalom, my brothers.
Shalom, my brothers.
But anyway, so they begin fighting, and then it's like Captain Marvel yells at Libra, "Hey, want to join in?" And Libra is like, "Fine, I'll join in."
Okay.
He's all about balance, and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna join in, and then it's like, I'm gonna unleash your dormant force within you, Rick Jones.
Oh wow, gee, thanks.
Which is empowers the 7 Avengers, but then they get cornered because Kang gets trapped by the Timekeepers, who are planning to further his development into Immortus forcefully. But that is when Captain Marvel reveals the secret. Is that he whacks the nega. Are they called negabands?
I think so.
Negative. Whatever. He whacks the bands together, and it's revealed to be a future Rick Jones without an arm and a beard.
And a beard.
And
whoa.
And then along with it, they unleash the power of the Destiny Force to unleash every good Avenger.
Of course.
Which includes, I look at the panel, we have 2 different Captain Americas. We have an anarchist cap.
That was from, I think it was called Earth X or something. I know I've seen that in some sort of comic.
And a female cap.
X.
I see a female cap. I don't know who are all these heroes. In the collection I have, it has a sources, essentially, basically references to previous Avengers comics. So like he has like various names, but there's like one that looks like Beast Boy mixed with Hawkeye, which I find funny. I also find funny that Storm joined. We see Storm, we see Sasquatch from Alpha Flight.
You got some of the Killy Avengers with Black Panther, Thunder, and Killraven.
Yeah. We even got like we got like some that would be like classified as defenders. Like we got Black Knight, Valkyrie.
I'm gonna pretend.
Oh, I see Colossus.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, this is pure eye candy. And then we go into the final one, which is the cover of the collection. And I had a hard time finding Janet because the wording was covering in the collection, like that gives the names of the title of the book and, you know, the creative team. Janet's right under Cap Shield, and that's where all the naming is.
Huh.
But I love this. This is probably my favorite cover. So full of energy. It's like, oh, you charging Yellow Jacket, jumping on Cap's shield as he throws it and uses it as a launching point.
Yeah, it's fun.
But anyway, and this like big, it's a big brawl. It's like the ultimate showdown of like, you got every single cameo of like Avengers history all fighting each other. You can't tell which one's the good guy, which one's the bad guy.
I imagine at some point, you know, there's just so many people and you can't really tell who's on your side, so you're just fighting who's ever been in front of you.
Yeah, and this is like, it's going to be revealed that this is what is the Destiny War.
The Destiny War.
Okay, that Captain America has a swastika on his costume, so I know he's bad. So, sorry.
Like when you open the page, the reason I say it's very confusing is like we have Warbird, Ms. Marvel getting attacked by classic Spider-Woman. So it's like, which one of you is evil in that situation? Because there's no indicator that, oh, this is the evil version. No, because you're both in your classic outfit.
Okay. Cat fight.
Are they just having a random brawl in the battle?
There's a joke to be made here.
Yeah, but just looking further, like you can really look into it. Like I see on my second playthrough, I see like classic Hawkeye in the crowd, and I see like I think Hawkeye when he's Giant Man, Goliath. And I think I see either Quasar or
Quasar?
Aurora, the sister of Northstar from Alpha Flight.
All I know about her is she's like
yeah.
All I remember about her is that she's like Mrs. Multiple Personality Disorder.
Oh,
no,
okay.
she's uber Catholic.
Oh,
that's just one of her personalities.
That's one of her Okay.
Oh no, did they?
I remember reading it from my dad's old Who's Who issue.
She has like a bipolar disorder, I think, where like essentially she is normal, bit flirty, in light, but in dark, her Catholic school upbringing comes back rear its ugly head. But anyway, back to the story. So meanwhile, in this fight, we get like cool hero moments, like Rick Jones, future Rick Jones, smacking the Nega bands together to be Captain Marvel again. And meanwhile, Kang is getting turned into a Mortis, blah, blah, blah. Like, just this big battle, which ends with Rick Jones charging into the big container energy thing. to use his Destiny Force powers to destroy the Timekeeper's machine.
Hooray!
I just want to mention just Kang.
Mhm.
Kang, like in the middle of becoming Immortus, he said to the timekeepers, I'm that guy, and he separated himself and he turned Immortus into his own being.
Yeah.
Variants, Changus.
Yeah, and then it ends finally. Just to wrap up, like there's like a 2-hour limit. Anyway, Cap has the Forever Crystal. He has the chance of I could change time. He crashes it, destroys it, which upsets King, of course.
Woo.
And then they just go to proceed to explain that basically just to wrap up like why there's in the new Immortus and a younger King. And then also what will happen. And then Rick Jones was nearly dying. So what happens is that Captain Marvel bonds himself with Rick Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also explain that to make sure the timeline's not screwy, you're going to be put exactly where you were when we picked you up. And you're going to have memories like a dream, unless needed.
Unless needed.
So we just cut back to scenes where like we had Cap experiencing the trauma.
That's right.
We have Songbird going, I remember in the Destiny War and I was with you and Hank. I just forgot about it. It's like, oh, that's fine.
It's all right. Then
Meanwhile, the only people who have their memories intact is Rick Jones and Giant Man and Wasp.
Wasp and the Giant Man.
Yeah, and then he activates, experiments it, clicks his bands together, and it's Captain Marvel, and he forgets about everything. It's like, oh no, I'm stuck with you. It's like, this sucks.
This lame.
And then it ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger.
Of course.
Or like a little hint at the future.
No story's complete without a cliffhanger.
All right. So that we don't run out of time. What do you guys think of the story?
It was really fun.
It was fun. Yeah, I had a fun time. It's just a lot going on. And also, turns out Kang was behind everything. Whoa! I mean, Immortus.
It was me, Steve.
Yeah.
It was
All
me.
right. So luckily, we're going to do a simple read next time. We're doing Skybound Transformers. First 6 issues.
Yeah.
I was
Hell
thinking
yeah.
about doing it on the 16th, since we did push this one off so much.
We can discuss this later.
Yeah.
But for right now, have everyone a wonderful night and see you next time, hopefully. Bye.
Vote Nixon!